Greetings, brothers and sisters. Hello and welcome back to Eva's House of Spirit. I'm Eva, and this video is going to sort of touch upon Halloween, Samhain, and Dia De Los Muertos, which, where I'm at, is almost, over. It's 11:18 p.m. as I'm filming this, but I hope that your Dia de los Muertos was a good one. Anyway, I'm going to touch upon these topics, and with that said, I have some notes with me and so on and so forth. So let me just get into introducing my topic and kind of sharing with you some things in regard to these celebrations. This is a time of year that is full of shadow spirituality, yin energy, ancestral venerations, acknowledgement of mortality, and the purpose of death as what lies beyond the threshold at the end of life. There are many celebrations that come at this time of year which relate to the same or similar themes as those that correlate to this season's energy. 3 such celebrations are Halloween, Samhain, and Dia de los Muertos. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about all 3 of these holidays, but this video isn't going to be like a history lesson or this isn't like a classroom lecture kind of a video. So if that's more of what you're looking for, information along those lines, this isn't quite the video for that. I just wanted to talk about, some of my thoughts, just some things in general relating to these holidays and this time of year and all that sort of stuff. If you're down, then let's do this. Let's go on this ride. Are you along for the ride? Because I am. My Halloween was fairly quiet this year. I really didn't do much. I did get dressed up, but it was just to go to work. And I dressed up as a dark fairy this year. I want to pause the video here and just show you some pictures of my costume. So this is how I dressed up. And while I was at work, my husband, he was home and he gave out candy to the trick-or-treaters. I worked kind of late, so I wasn't able to be in on that, but he had some fun. There were some kids that he had heard them coming up the walkway, so he ran up to the door, like kind of ducked down, and just before they could ring the bell, he flung the door open, and he stared at them, and then he smiled, and he held out the candy dish, and he was like, "Go ahead, take some candy." But they were standing there like, it was great. We didn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters this year. We got some, but it was worth buying, some candy and at least, having something available for the ones that did decide to show up. And we did let them take extra candy, so that was cool. So back to the topic of my fairy costume. I sort of have like a thing where I can appreciate, the idea of fairies. I do believe that fairies exist. I do believe that maybe at one time they were, maybe they interacted with people more, but I think as we sort of advanced in technology and kind of got a little twisted and a little further removed from our nature as animals, although we are humans, we are yet animals, I think the Fae kind of pulled away from us, to a great extent. And I think also at some point, maybe as our, you know, maybe as our evolution, you know, into, you know, modern advancements and so on and so forth sort of removed us from our animal nature, and many of us started sort of closing ourselves off from trusting things like our instincts and our, you know, psychic senses and so on and so forth. We kind of also lost a lot of our ability, I think, to perceive the Fae. You know, not only did they just kind of go, whoa, these people are getting a little screwed up, you know, but also I think we sort of put on blinders in a sense. So I think that's why, you know, fairies, they're not as involved with humans anymore. We don't see them everywhere like, you know, maybe we sort of experienced them at one time in history. I don't know. I don't think human beings today perceive the Fae as often or as well as we maybe used to. I could be wrong. It's just something that I think could very well be the case. It's just sort of an impression that I have. But nonetheless, you know, I do feel drawn toward the lore and the idea, you know, of the Fae. And so, you know, I just have a lot of respect for them, and I just have like a fascination. So that's why I chose my costume. And speaking of fairies, you know, it's not just the spirits of the departed that are nearer to us at this time of year. You know, it's also the Fae that roam among us. You know, and in keeping, you know, with the spirit, no pun intended, of the fairy folk being, you know, more present at this time of year, I kind of want to share with you like a mini haul that sort of relates to that whole fairy theme. There's a few things that I recently picked up. Excuse me, just getting them off the end table. A little bit ago, I was at a dollar store near me, like a little no-name, like just little mom and pop kind of dollar store, and there were these glow-in-the-dark stickers, and I just thought these were so awesome, so of course I picked one up for myself. I still don't know where I'm going to put it though, but you can see like the fairy, you know, and I also have, if you remember, last year I did my first haul video on this channel, and I showed you a fairy ornament that I got at Walmart. I went to the Christmas area of the store, you know, their little Christmas shop, like early, and I was just looking at ornaments, and it's beautiful, like clear. It was like a clear plastic fairy with beautiful wings. Like, she was so gorgeous. She really was gorgeous. Here, let me pause the video. I'm going to show you a picture, like a still, from that video where I show you, you know, my first haul where I show you that fairy ornament. I'm going to show you that right now. And so, being that I had that one, you know, I decided this year to go back and see if there was any other, you know, interesting stuff of that sort. I was curious, like, do they have other fairy ornaments or anything? And you know what? They did. So I picked up 2 more fairy ornaments. I was just feeling it. I mean, I was just vibing with it because, like I said, this time of year, you know, it's just this whole spiritual time, you know, not just, you know, bringing us and the other side closer, like, you know, in terms of our connection to those departed, but also our nearness to like the Fae. So I was kind of like vibing on that. And the first ornament I got, it's actually an ornament that it doesn't hang, but there's a clip on her back. There's like this little clip thingy where you can sort of clip. I don't know if you can see it too well because the light. There's like a clip. See it? There's like a clip on the back. She's this beautiful fairy. She has like these clear little gossamer wings. She has like some feathery stuff on her back, and She's just like mid-flight. She's so beautiful. So I wanted to show you that, you know, along the theme of fairies. That was just, you know, in Walmart's Christmas section. And it was super cheap. This thing was very, very cheap. I mean, the little tag attached says $1.48, but I don't think it was $1.48 when I got it at Walmart. I want to say it was like cheaper than that. Very, very inexpensive. And then the other ornament I got is this one. She's like this white fairy with sort of like glitter all over her body. She's very pretty. She looks to be holding a flower, and I know it's kind of hard there. When I put a little bit of shadow on her, you can kind of see her better, but she's just like so pretty. I just thought I'd show you that. So I think I'm going to start a fairy ornament collection. You know, I'm going to start looking around for fairy ornaments. Now, I don't want to spend like $1 million on them, but, you know, if I can find them economically here and there, of course I'm going to add to my little collection. And there are some bumper stickers, actually, I want to show you as well that I picked up, not recently, I picked them up a while ago, but I just want to show them to you because they kind of go along with the fairy hall theme. The bumper stickers also came from Walmart. I got them on clearance like a while ago. Let me just go and grab those and show them to you. So I'm back, and I paid $4.50 for this first sticker 2-pack. Actually, it's a 2-pack. There's a beautiful dark fairy just kind of like sitting on the moon. She's just so amazingly gorgeous. I hope you can see that. I'm trying to like block the excess light so it doesn't create like a lot of glare. You can kind of see her. And then on the reverse side, there's another beautiful fairy, just kind of like sitting on the moon. Really, really pretty. So that's the sticker 2-pack. I got it at Walmart a while ago for $4.50. Yeah, that was really cool. And then this one I paid $1 for on clearance at Walmart. That's, there she is. This really pretty fairy. I don't know what it is about fairies. I just have this thing. I just love fairies. They're just so beautiful. So, that aside, I want to talk about Samhain, okay? Halloween is more of like a secular holiday. It's more of just a fun kind of night out sort of deal. But it does have its roots in Samhain, and a lot of us are aware of that, I'm sure. I mean, I think most people are aware of that. Let me just adjust my camera. Okay. Now, Samhain, it's not necessarily a one-day thing that coincides with Halloween. Some people celebrate it that way. But I feel that if you still feel the energy of Samhain after the 31st, go ahead and keep celebrating it. You know, I certainly, you know, do still feel the energy of Samhain, and I will keep celebrating it. I will keep observing, you know, that things that kind of go along with that energy and that theme or the themes that relate to that holiday, because I feel it's, for me, it's more of a seasonal thing. Really, that sort of goes up until, you know, the winter solstice. Then I feel like I move into like Yule energy, you know what I mean? And it's just a different sort of vibe, because then it sort of goes, I'm not feeling fall so much and Samhain sort of energy. I just start feeling winter energy, which is fine. And speaking of timing and Samhain, I want to read to you an excerpt from an article that I will have linked in the description of this video. It's an article by Selena Fox, and the article is called Celebrating Samhain. And In a part of her article, she writes, in the Northern Hemisphere, many pagans celebrate Samhain from sundown on October 31st through November 1st. Others hold Samhain celebrations on the nearest weekend or on the full or new moon closest to this time. Some pagans observe Samhain a bit later, on or near November 6th, to coincide more closely with the astronomical midpoint between fall equinox and winter solstice. My personal feeling is that, as I said before, go with your feeling, in regard to, how you celebrate. I don't feel that we should be limited by like a certain date on the calendar or a certain time on the clock. If you feel sort of in tune with those energies, you know what? Roll with it. Just flow with it. There shouldn't be a limit. And also certain things such as ancestor veneration that tends to come to the fore at this time of year. You can venerate your ancestors anytime that you want. You don't need to wait for a holiday like Dia De Los Muertos or Samhain or any other specific time of year to do that. You can do that any time of year. While the veil is thinner, a lot of people feel the veil is thinner at this time of year. I also believe this. It's not to say that it's not possible to connect at any other time of year. This is a good time of year to connect with those on the other side, but it's not like this is the only time of year. It's just that this is a time of year that it's more traditional, it's more widely celebrated. It tends to be more widely felt, the sort of energy, the sort of, vibe of these holidays at this time of year. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about Dia de los Muertos. You don't have to wait for Dia de los Muertos to honor your dearly departed. But Dia de los Muertos is seen as a time to honor the dead, to pray for the dead, to commune with the dead, to reconnect with and show love for, your dearly departed, friends, loved ones, ancestors. But again, you can do this any time of year. Speaking, by the way, of Dia de los Muertos, I was showing you before my fairy stuff. I forgot to show you. I have actually some bumper stickers too that I got at Walmart. I think I paid like $1 or $2 for these too. I got some sugar skull bumper stickers. Tell me those aren't freaking cool. I just had to show you guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Got them at Walmart too, along with my fairy stickers. Anyway, so that aside, in a little bit, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to refresh my ancestor altar, because I didn't get a chance to do that earlier, but I am going to do that. I have a candle here that someone actually gifted me a while ago, and I'm gonna light this candle for my ancestors to honor them. I have a little pink skull, my little sort of ancestor veneration kind of thing. And then I wanted to give you guys some suggestions for like things you can do if you are still feeling the energy of this time of year relating to the sort of themes that kind of run through like Halloween, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos, and similar kind of celebrations and observations. Basically, this is a good time of year to honor the dead, to pray for the dead, to commune with the dead, to reconnect with and show love for the dead. You can light candles to them or for them. You can make sugar skulls or other, seasonally themed goodies. You can do those for offering or to enjoy for yourself. You can offer to your ancestors. A lot of times people, they will make the sugar skulls or they will buy the sugar skulls and they will actually give those on the altars for their dearly departed. It's like, you're offering sweetness because you love them. and you're acknowledging them, their life after death as well. You can clean up and or redecorate, urns, grave sites, or ancestor altars at this time of year. You can meditate on lessons that lost loved ones have, taught you. You can, take time to count the blessings that they brought into your life. And you can remember and acknowledge like some of the wonderful things that they sort of left you with, and you'll be surprised at how many wonderful things they left you with. Some less tangible than others. And honestly, I believe that just the simple fact that, we had our departed loved ones in our life, that was a blessing in itself, because we each get to say, like, I had so and so in my life, but most of the world can't say that. That's a huge blessing. That is something that, life is impermanent, nothing and no one lasts forever, but at least I can say, when I look back and I acknowledge, my dearly departed, my lost loved ones and all, I can at least say, but I had the honor of knowing them, having them touch my life, touch my heart, change my life, fill my soul. Even though I miss them and they're gone, I had that blessing. I had that honor. There's so many people that can't say that they had that honor or that blessing. Another thing you could do is at this time of year, you could give to charity or volunteer, with certain charities or, in certain ways to help others, in the name or names of those, who have gone before. If you know some of the names of your, ancestors or lost loved ones or whatever, you can do charity work or give, or give to charity in their name maybe. You could work with Santa Muerte or other, deities that have a connection to death, especially in seeking to learn lessons about themes such as releasing, grieving, transition, change, mortality, impermanence, etc. You could meditate on the Death Tarot card. You could, I know this one is going to sound morbid to some people. I don't see it that way though. You could pray for the terminally ill, that they be guarded and guided by their ancestors, and that if they cannot be healed for whatever reason, at least that their ancestors and guardians and guides might help them to cross over peacefully when the time is right. I think that's actually a pretty altruistic thing to do. Like, some people might feel uncomfortable with things like that, with praying for the terminally ill. But I think it's actually quite a noble thing, because I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the energy that can accumulate and affect wonderful changes in people's lives. And if that is something as simple as sending forward the intention that if we cannot save this person, at least let them go in peace and let them be with their loved ones on the other side. I think that is a beautiful thing, to at least pray for them. So that is something you could do at this time of year. You could bury apples for the dead at nighttime, around this time of year. You could leave lanterns, candles, or LED lights on for the spirits of the departed that roam the world, coming to or fro. You could practice divinations or spirit communications, being at this time of year the veil is fairly thin. You can hold dumb suppers. Usually people prefer to do the dumb supper practice at, or the dumb supper ritual, I should say. A lot of people prefer to do that like at the actual times of year that are designated for those sorts of things, or generally designated, like Halloween, the 31st of October, or some people November 1st, or some people maybe November 2nd, but you can really do a dumb supper at any time you really want to. Again, because that's a veneration of those that have gone before, that's an honoring and acknowledging and reaching out sort of thing. So you can really do that anytime you feel that it's the right time. You can also make spirit dolls to honor your ancestors or lost loved ones. You can get, you can either buy or make a doll, in the likeness of the person that has passed. You can either, buy a doll, decorate it, dress it up, make it look like that person, or you can, if you don't buy a doll and dress it up and make it look like that person, you can, like, maybe sculpt one out of clay. I have done that with one of my ancestors on my altar. Or you can just make one out of cloth, or however you want to do it. It's not to be like, oh, that is that person and their soul is in there. No, it's not like that. A spirit doll is a representation of that spirit or that person that has moved on into spirit. And when you put the doll onto the altar, you're not worshiping the doll. You are honoring that person through the doll. And when you give that person's spirit honor, you're feeding their spirit. When you put the offerings out, on the ancestor altar, or when you give the glasses of water, or sometimes the little glasses of alcohol, or whatever it is that you do, you're feeding the spirit. And when you feed the spirit, you strengthen the spirit. It doesn't live in the doll, but the doll sort of becomes like a focal point of connection for you. It can strengthen your bond to the person's spirit. You give the spirit doll like life in a sense by, working with it a lot. It sort of it builds up an energy where it brings the spirits sort of closer to you, or I should say it invites them closer to you. I personally don't believe, though, that they like live in the doll. It's not like that. You're not creating like a haunted doll. That's not how it is. It's kind of a hard concept to explain, but it's really more of a bonding point and a connection point, and you're empowering them, and you're giving them sort of like you're almost giving them another physical form here on the physical plane. And that also, it empowers them. But again, it's not like they are like bound to the doll. That's not how it works. So I hope that makes sense. So I hope this video wasn't too rambly. I hope it was kind of interesting, seeing my costume, hearing about how my Halloween went. I honestly didn't really do anything much on that period of Samhain, how people celebrated on like the 31st or whatever. I really didn't do anything on that night. Again, I was like working, and then like November 1st, I just had like a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't able to do anything. And tonight I'm trying to catch up, with a lot of the things that I've wanted to do spiritually, but I'm also still working on some readings for some people, and I have some things to sort out, lots of things. I have like a little checklist, and I'm like just crossing off like stuff I gotta do. But I wanted to take the time to come on here and at least share with you like some things, some thoughts, and relate, in regard to this time of year and Halloween and Samhain and, Dia De Los Muertos. I'm going to have some videos down in the description below. Some things relating to this time of year, like these sort of celebrations and so on and so forth. Some interesting things that you may want to peek at. So do go down in the description, check those out, and I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to wish you blessed be and Ashe. Have a wonderful night. Oh, and a wonderful time of year as well. Wonderful season. And until our next exchange, stay awesome, and bye-bye for now.